Okay, so good evening, everyone, once again. It's a pleasure to have you all here. As a matter of fact, I'm honored that you guys have decided to be here for this meeting. This is our very first meeting as a community, and I really am grateful that you were able to make it tonight. And I believe that more persons are going to be joining us. So let me introduce myself. My name is Ighosotu Ntekume. I'm the CEO of ExpandEazy Digital Consults, the body responsible for the initiative for this Easy Light community, for the initiative. So what we are here to do at this point is this is like an onboarding session. For many persons, they've been hearing get digital skills, get digital skills, get digital skills, but they've not necessarily had the experience and the feel that, okay, if I get digital skills, what are the opportunities that are open for me with these digital skills? What are the opportunities that I have? What are the challenges I can face? What are the challenges that I can face if I have these digital skills and all that? So the purpose of this meeting actually is to now expose you to some of the opportunities you can have. Because we have speakers, people who have excelled with digital skills. They've not just excelled, they found entrepreneurship opportunities using these digital skills, and they've used it to change the course of their life and their finances. So that's what we want to actually talk about here. So I have found mine, but I don't want to be the one sharing my story here. I brought to that person on board, people who I know that they are successful entrepreneurs in this digital space. They found their footing here. They've been able to become financially independent. They've been able to become financially independent here, because they were able to get some certain digital skills at one point in time or the other. So that's the reason why we are having this meeting. You know, the purpose of being a part of the Easy Light community, one of the goals we have is to actually equip young persons with digital skills enough to be able to get financial freedom. Every year in the school, we are bringing out new persons. Universities, they are launching new graduates into the job market. And the reality is that there's no job for even a fraction of those people that come to the job market. So young entrepreneurs or young people like us, we have to find a way, you understand, to survive by. So we've even moved past the point of surviving. We are thriving even in the economy the way it is. So we want to actually expose you to some of all these things. That's the purpose of it. So we have 3 speakers here. Somebody who is a friend and a mentor to me, Imonide Precious, is here at the moment. He's going to be one of our speakers here. I have another person, Kelvin, and then our third speaker is Miracle. So these persons, they are actually resource persons. They have done it. They've been there. There's a saying that the path of least resistance is a path that someone else has already traveled. And then if you actually want to travel that path, it is easier if someone who has traveled that path leads you along the path. You understand? So that's the reason why we're having this. So I don't want to talk too much, so I will not bore you. I don't want to talk too much, so I will not bore you. I would like to invite our very first speaker here. So I'm going to unmute our first speaker by person of Mr. Precious. But before then, please, one of the admins, just check out. Somebody says it's new on Telegram. He doesn't know what to do. So just help the person navigate so you can actually be a part of the live session. I think he's having a confusion here. I just got a notification of that here. So Mr. Precious, I'll be muting your mic now so you can actually. So please, Mr. Precious. Yeah, Mr. Precious, please unmute your mic so you can. The floor is yours.
All right, everyone. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, awesome. All right. Let me introduce myself. My name is Imonide Precious, and I am a digital marketer. I've been a digital marketer for the past 4 years, and so basically, I want to share my experience about how I got into the digital space and how it's been for me so far. So, about 4 years ago, I had just finished from the university and I needed something to do to make money. And then I, my story is actually a very funny story, actually, because I almost became a mechanic. My dad at the time, after I had finished from school, I had nothing doing. I was at home, I was jobless. My dad at the time was suggested that I go and learn mechanic so that I can at least be useful, you know. So I actually went to the place. I met the man in charge. They told me to resume work on the next Monday. And at that time, I had been following for a long time. Actually, I've been following on different online stuff, different online businesses. But I was just generally confused as to what to do. I was mostly watching through YouTube. So I was watching a couple of YouTube videos, and I couldn't really get the information that I needed through those YouTube videos. But then there was a guy selling a course back then. Well, I can't remember his name again. I think it was a Facebook ads course. It was my Clio. It doesn't have that course anymore again. But back then, it was selling the course. It was 30,000. And I remember having to reach out to a couple of my friends actually to be able to get the money to pay for that course. One people I even reached out to is King here, and I remember calling him and I pitched to him. I was like, there's this guy, he's selling this course, he's made so many millions, the course will make us money. I didn't have the money, so I needed to contribute from different people. So I told him, look, this course will make us money, just so I think the cost was 30K. I divided it among like 6 people, so it was 5K. No, 5 people was 6K, yeah. So I called him, I told him it's just 6,000, you know. But I told him the cost is 30,000, but like if you bring 6,000 and some other people bring 6,000, I have other people that are ready to pay, who will be able to buy the course, and all of us can like go through the course and all that. And he sent me the money. So I was able to pay for the course, and that was the beginning of my online journey. I was broke that period. I was very broke, very very broke. Um, so that was the beginning of my online journey. I was able to start making money. I remember the very first money I made. I can never forget this. I spent 1,000 naira on ads. I was trying it for the very first time. I was like, okay, this online ads thing. After learning the course, I was eager to like put into practice and see what will happen. So I spent 1,000 naira. In fact, before I even tell you how much I spent, after watching the course, I remember reaching out to a couple people back then in the space, in the internet marketing space, that were like so-called gurus. So I reached out to them and I was like, hey, I want to start running Facebook ads. I've watched the course. I want to start running Facebook ads. How much do you think I need to start? And everybody was like, well, if you don't have up to 100,000, well, don't just waste your time. You must have at least 100,000. Me that was broke. What the fuck was I gonna say 100,000 to start? And worst of all, they were not even giving me guarantees. They're not like, okay, if you put 100,000 in, you're surely going to make money. They're like, well, you may make money or you may not make money. I was like, how do you even want me to find 100K? And now you're telling me that there's a chance I might spend 100K and not even make my money back. So I almost got discouraged. I almost just like rested and felt like, man, this is not going to be for me. It's for people who have money. You know, but I took a chance. I was like, you know what? I have 1,000 naira. Back then, Facebook will allow you to spend like 300 and something naira minimum for ads. So I was like, I have 1,000 naira left in my account. I'm just going to put it in there and see what will happen, right? Worst case, the money goes, you know, nothing bad happens. And best case, something good comes out of this. So I put 1,000 naira in. I remember that night, I could not sleep. I could not sleep. When I tell people this story, they feel, man, how could you not sleep for 1,000 naira? That's how broke I was. That's how broke I was. Like I was that broke that 1,000 naira. If you come off from my account, God, ah, like crisis. So I put in the I put in 1,000 naira and lo and behold, the next day I was able to make 65,000 naira. I was dumbfounded. I was seriously dumbfounded. And that week I was able to make over 200,000. Of course, I did not become a mechanic again. I just like told my father, you know what? Let's pause the mechanic thing first. Let me try this thing finish. If it doesn't work, then I can always come back. So and from then on, I've made a lot of money online. I was able to leave my parents' house. I was able to get my own apartment. I was able to buy my own car, buy landed properties, and so on and so forth. Basically, so why am I sharing this story with you? I'm sharing this story with you because someone just like me, there's somebody here that may be in that position where they're like, I want to go into the online space. I want to learn how to make money through the online space legally. Legally. Emphasis on the legally. We're not doing Yahoo Yahoo here. Right? I want to learn how to make money legally in the online space. And you may be feeling, is this really possible? My goal is that with my story, you will be able to be encouraged and see that yes, it is actually possible. Or maybe you've tried to, maybe you've bought a course or two and it just didn't pan out. Do not give up. All right? Don't give up. You have to keep trying. You have to keep attempting. The real victory comes when you don't stop trying. You only fail when you give up. So if you don't give up, you will eventually get it right. Okay? But you need to be hardworking and you need to be consistent. Those two things are necessary for you to actually achieve success in anything in life. There's no shortcuts. And I hate it when people, especially when they're trying to sell you a course, they want to give you shortcut. They want to tell you shortcuts. Here's how you can make 1 million in next 3 days if you just press this button. It never works out. It never ever works out. You're just going to make the person selling the course rich. Go for people who actually are real with you. Be willing to put in the work. There's work involved. There's no shortcuts, right? Yes, of course, the work you do as a digital marketer or as someone in the online space is nothing compared to somebody who's pushing wheelbarrow in the streets or a bus conductor. Of course, you're not working as hard as they are. Yeah, but you're still working either ways. You still have to do the work. All right. So that's my whole point of sharing this, is to encourage you, is to inspire you, and is to tell you that you need to work hard and you need to be consistent to achieve success, even in the online space. All right. So
Okay.
I think I'll leave this, switch back to the to King. King, you can take over.
Okay. I just want to ask a couple of questions so
Yeah.
that for a certain level of clarification for most people that are here, because you've actually shared some very important tips. But you said your very first ad you ran with 1,000 naira. What were you selling on the ad? And I think a lot of us here will want to know what
Okay.
you were doing.
Well, okay, that's cool. At that time, I had learned Facebook ads, but I actually show us your face. I'm sorry. Maybe in the next this thing, I did not set up, like I was not told that it was going to be video. I would have set up like ring light and all that. But let me see if the camera is not really clear. Without the ring light, it's not going to be clear. Okay, so on the very first ad, I had no product to sell at that time because all I had learned then was just Facebook ads, right? So of course you need to sell something to make money. So what I did was I had a girlfriend back then, and what I did was she was into this hair business, and she used to like hold online classes But it was just mostly she was posting it on her status, getting people to show up, getting one or two people to pay. It wasn't anything serious. So I then asked her like, okay, I know how to run ads now, I've learned, but I don't have anything to sell. You have a product you can sell, but you don't know how to run ads. So I told her, let's collaborate, let's do a partnership. 50-50, we go into this, I'll run the ads, and you will teach people your hair stuff, and whatever money comes out, we'll split the money 50-50. So that was the very first thing I sold. So why is this relevant for you? Even if you don't have something to sell, there is a lot of money to be made in strategic partnerships. There are many people out there who want your skill sets. So my skill set at that time was ability to run ads, and I was able to find somebody who had something to sell but did not know how to sell it, and then I used my skill set to push it. So that's what I was selling for that. When I made the 65,000 from the 1,000 investment on ads.
Okay. Are you still with us, Mr. Precious?
I'm with you.
Is this still possible to use 1,000 naira to run ads at this time? Because although we have different countries, so but you say it's still possible to use 1,000 naira to run ads at this time?
Well, no, because if you're in Nigeria, the dollar rate has gone up. So right now the lowest you can spend on ads is like 1,600 to 1,700, 1,600 to 1,700. So, but in other countries, a dollar, you can use a dollar to run ads. So whatever the equivalent of a dollar is in your currency is the minimum amount you can use to run your ads.
Okay. So, Mr. Precious, are you still running ads right now?
Yes, I still run ads. I've been running ads for the past 4 years now.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I just needed to ask some of these questions. I think it's the last question I want to ask. What has been your biggest challenge as a digital creator, someone in the digital space? Because I think most persons here, they've had various challenges. I know you've addressed some of them in the course of talking here, but I think if there's your biggest challenge, so that we can know and then tell us how you actually overcame this challenge.
Okay, that's a good question. That's actually a brain turner. I think if I would think about one of my biggest challenge, to be honest, um, one of my biggest challenge was consistency. The ability to just show up every single time. It was one of my biggest challenge. Because the thing is, when you're in the digital space, it can sometimes feel like you're making easy money, and to just show up every single time becomes a little bit more difficult, because there are times when you basically do nothing and you're still making a lot more money than someone who's working in like a 9 to 5 job. So it's actually does make you lazy. Over time, you start getting more and more lazy. So it's that was one of my biggest challenges. Another thing that was a big challenge for me was not having mentors. So a lot of the solutions, a lot of the problems I faced that I had to solve them on my own. And because one of the things was, most people who were way ahead at that time were not very open with sharing their ideas. So most people who were way ahead did not share their ideas. So let me give you an example. When I was doing six figures, so for clarity's sake, six figures means if you're doing anything between 100K to 900,000, that's six figures. So when I was doing six figures, I'm trying to get to seven figures. Seven figures is a million and above, right? A million to like 9 million. So when I was doing six figures per month, I'm trying to get to seven figures per month. I had nobody to tell me the essential things I needed to do. So it was a struggle that it basically took me like over a year to figure out what I was missing that would take me from going from six figures monthly to seven figures monthly, right? And when I did figure it out, it was like it was insane. I could not believe that it was something so simple that I was missing. But it was just the fact that I had no one. So most guys who were at that level doing seven figures were not actually teaching people how to do seven figures per month. They were more of teaching people how to do six figures because that's where the mass market is. Like the like over, let's just say 90% of people were not making money. I wanted to learn how to make small money. Those who were making money that wanted to grow their money were like maybe 10%. So they were not selling to those 10% because it wasn't going to be lucrative for them to come and teach one person how to do double or triple what they are doing, where they can just teach like 100 different persons and make more money from them. So that was the challenge back then. I think even now, but although now we have more and more guys who are doing big numbers, being more open about their strategies and like revealing to us how they're doing it. But back then, that was a real struggle for me.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Precious, for sharing with us. Just for clarity's sake, I would like to say Mr. Precious is not just a friend to me, he's also a mentor to me. You know, like from his story, you can actually see that he introduced me to this online space mostly. You know, while I was in school and when I finished school, I had a shock because I've always tried many things as an individual. I sold clothes, I sold electronics, I sold shoes. I used to go to markets. At first, when I started business, I started with meeting tailors. So, like you said, strategic partnership. I started with meeting tailors. You make some clothes for me, I'll sell. So, first thing I did was I went to source for customers and everything. So, when Mr. Precious brought the idea of this digital stuff, he just sold the idea to me. Then I already had my own shop then within school. So money wasn't so much for me because I was okay as at that time, you know. But so I just sent it to him. Even motivated me to start going through the training because at the point in time, you know, I was doing my thing, I was making money, I was doing project work, I was doing different things, and I was making some money. And even when he sold the idea to me, I decided, okay, let me just go, let me get it. I got it, I secured it. The, I secured everything. That's the materials that was sent to me. Then he called me again and encouraged me to start going through it. And I can say that has been a turning point in my life. So I would always appreciate Mr. Precious because he even helped make most of the journey easy for me. So I would feel to it would be bad for me not to appreciate him, even in the presence of everybody. I always appreciate him because of that. And by God's grace, in this our journey as a community, he's going to be one of our resource persons. At least you've heard from him, you can see that he's very open with a lot and he's willing to share as long as you're willing to learn. If I am, there's one last question I would like to ask him here because I want to ask him so you hear from his mouth. Mr. Precious, do you think anybody can learn this skill that you have at the moment? Do you think anybody,
Okay,
or I don't
yes,
know,
I think I genuinely believe anybody can learn this skill. Like I said, as long as you get rid of the make money quick mindset, I'm not saying you not make money quick, but just don't start it with that mindset. Because yes, digital money is quick money, is the truth. Like I cannot think of any single person I know doing the 9 to 5 jobs that makes more than anybody I can count doing a digital skill. So yes, there is quick money. I've seen people go from zero to millions in a month. There, there's quick money in it, but if you start with the mindset of I want to make quick money, then you'll be looking for shortcuts instead of trying to work hard. So it's best to eliminate that mindset and just focus on I'm going to work hard, I'm going to be consistent. If you're focusing on those two things and then you find the right mentors, that's the third thing. Like I I will tell anybody for free. This is not. Nobody's trying to sell you a course here, right? So whatever I'm telling you is because is the truth. It's not. Well, if I'm trying to sell you a course, then I have I have a ulterior motive. So you can take whatever I tell you with a grain of salt, right? With maybe there's he is saying this because he wants to sell us something, obviously, right? So nobody's trying to sell you a course here. I'll tell you, having mentors is essential because if I remember the story I told you, it took me a year to go from 6 figures to 7 figures. But when I started coaching people, I discovered that I would coach someone that just starting out and they will go from 6 figures to 7 figures in like a month. Something that took me an entire year, I could pass it across to them and they can execute it, and in 1 month basically achieve what I achieved in a year in just 1 month. Mentors are essentially important. They actually they are like a shortcut to your journey. So if you're someone that's like, hey, I want shortcut, I want something fast, then having a mentor, all right, having a mentor is basically like a shortcut, because the mentor will tell you, don't do this, do this. These are the mistakes I've made. Don't make it. And these are the things that work for me. Do them as well. So like, if you have a mentor, it just makes the entire process easy. But the problem is finding the right mentors. That's also a problem. So I think that's a topic for another day entirely. Like, how do you know when someone's the right mentors? That's entirely a problem. But one of the easy short cheats I'll give you about finding the right mentor, of course there are multiple different things you should look out for, is find someone who is student centric, right? Find someone who's student centric. I used to tell people whenever someone comes to tell me, man, see this guy posting his results of how he did 10 million in a second, or how he did 50 million in a decisecond, or whatever easy method, right? I usually tell people, forget the guy's results. Fuck anybody showing you results, their results. Forget their results. Don't pay attention to their results. Look for their students' results. If someone is always posting, I made this amount of money, I made that amount of money, I made that amount of money, that person is not student centric. That person, most likely you will pay that person and that person will never attend to you, because that person is probably after their own pocket. So there are certain people's, the thing is, a lot of people go into the online space, the coaching space especially, with the mindset of they want to make money, not really with the mindset of they want to help people. So if you're seeing someone that's always posting their own results, that person just cares about making more sales from you, has no concern about getting you the results similar to them. Find someone who's always posting, my student did this, my student did that, my student did this, my student did that. That is one of the ways you know this is someone that could be a good mentor. There are also other things to check out for minus that, but that's, like I said, that's an entirely different session entirely. But that one is a easy cheat code that you can at least to filter out some people that are not really good mentors. So you don't end up spending your money on people, and at the end of the day, you're like, I didn't get any value from this. This person doesn't even answer me. I know all of us, many of us have experienced this. Even me personally, I've experienced that. You pay someone and they ghost you. You pay someone, they don't even respond to your messages anymore. They don't answer you. You're like a burden to them at that point in time because they've collected your money. Those people are usually just concerned about making money. They have no interest in really helping anybody. But yes, to summarize, anybody can come into the online space and actually make money. You just need to be hardworking, consistent, and find good mentors that will guide you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your responses. I appreciate your responses. So, thank you, Mr. Precious. I would like to now call on the second speaker that we have here. I want to believe that, but before I do that, I know that so that it will not look like we're just here to give you. If there is anybody that has any particular, maybe like questions they want to ask Mr. Precious for the purpose of, if you have questions, you can just indicate by raising your hand so you can actually just ask him a question or two. So I think it would actually still help. Maybe there's something in your mind that you want to just ask, just for clarification's sake. So if you have something, so you just indicate by raising your hand so I unmute your mic and you can ask him your questions directly. Okay. Is there nobody here who is interested in asking any question? Okay. Um, okay, we have King Solo. King Solo, I have unmuted your mic, please. You can unmute your mic and speak. King Solo. King Solo, you can unmute your mic.
Hello, good evening, house.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, thank you, Kings. It's a good thing hearing from you again. You are
Okay.
crypto master. Your teachings and your coordinations have really been worthwhile. So thank you for having you once again after a long time. Though you have just added, that's a good thing. So, Mr. Precious, I want to know if it is Precious Imonide.
Yes, it's precious
Hello?
Imonide. No?
Welcome, sir. Good to see you again. Is that a guy from Benin?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Thank God that you are the one. I will chat you concerning add-on. I'm having a lot of issues concerning Facebook ads.
No
Thank you very
problem.
much.
That's fine.
Yeah, well done. Thank you.
Okay. Is that all, King Solo?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All
That's
right.
all for
All
now.
right.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. All right. Is there any other person here who have anything to say or ask Mr. Precious Imonide before we move on to the next person that we have for tonight? Okay. So the next person we're having now is Mr. Kelvin. Mr. Kelvin, please, you can just unmute your mic so you can actually talk to us. Mr. Kelvin.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, how clear is it? Because I know I've been having network issues since God knows how long. But
Okay.
you can hear me clearly, right?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Um, so where to start? Good evening, everyone. My name is Kelvin Waye, and I am a digital marketer as well. Okay, so um, I don't know how long was allocated for this meeting, but I'll try and keep my story brief for the sake of everyone here. Uh, First and foremost, I want to thank King for putting this together. Not just for you guys, which of course is going to be like a massive, massive help to you guys to hear these stories and actually um, see life as it were from our perspective, but also for us, the opportunity for us to connect with you guys as well. Great things start like this. And, in a year from now, 2 years from now, a lot of you are going to say, you know what, I attended a live meeting one time. King was there, Precious Monide was there, Kelvin Waye was there. They're billionaires now, but they were able to transform my life really, really positively. So I'm happy for this platform. Before I do anything, because I'm going to be mentioning him a lot in this story, let me also say a big thank you to Precious Imonide, because as a mentored King, he also changed my life. And it's not easy for someone to be that open with the knowledge that they have acquired. Like, trust me, probably if I was at my own mercy to teach myself what I know now, the way Precious taught me, I probably wouldn't have taught myself and I would have been broke if it was me. But not everyone is that benevolent. So thank you for being here as well. So to start off, um, I've always been these kind of kids. I've been indoors. I've been an indoor baby for a while. And the thing about indoor babies is sometimes you don't know how hard life is, because one thing about semi-Ajebota people is, your parents do well enough just to make sure that your fees are paid on time and you don't really lack any basic necessities, right? So I think this whole thing started for me because I didn't know I was broke, right? I didn't know I was poor up until immediately I finished university, right? Because even while I was in school, I was hearing about these opportunities, right? I was hearing about these opportunities. King was doing business then. We kind of knew each other back then too. King was doing business. It was always very entrepreneurial. Like, King has always been like the most hardworking person I know. right? It's surprising to me that he has always been like that, because he's also very intelligent. So in case you guys didn't know, your facilitator King is a very, very, very like book smart, intelligent person. He's a genius. Like when you say scholar, right? So it was always surprising for me that someone that knew book that well was also very, very entrepreneurial, always walking from one place to another, looking for stuff to do. So um yeah, so um after school, yeah, I've always thinking trying to like make money, right? He was doing well already in school, but he was always trying to make money outside. So I didn't see it as important at all. I was like, let's finish this school, let's start working, let's do this thing. And immediately I finished school, that's when like life hit me, because and it's like no one really prepares you for shit like this. Immediately I finished, it's like my parents just decided that, you know what, you're a man now. And every single allowance that used to come before was like just halted, and they were like, you know what, go and face life by yourself. And it's not like it was gradually cut off. It's like if they used to give you like 10K before, today, all right, because you were in school, that's why you were receiving the money. And when school was over, it was like, you're on your own now. Then I realized I was broke. Then I realized I was very broke. So I couldn't continue like that, obviously, because I had a lifestyle in my head. I've always had a lifestyle in my head I wanted um, to live. So I started by learning these little things. So I was looking for anything. I've always liked creative things, like stuff like graphic design, video editing, anything that requires me to make something new from scratch. I've always liked it. It has always been like a hobby. But now that I had been cut off completely, it had to become more than that, because I needed money at least to get myself like a few things. It was crazy. So I was doing graphic design then, right? I think I was even doing graphic design a bit in school, right? But was like more serious about it later on. I think the first time that I made the pivot in my mind that I'm probably going to do online work, I think the first time I made that pivot in my mind was when um when when oh, my camera works. Okay. So I think the when I did that, when I made that pivot in my mind, the first time was there was a staff in university then that this staff told me that their salary was 30,000, and I had learned graphic design, and I used to charge like 3,000 per design, and in one day I got like three people that paid me. And so I had made like a third of this person's monthly salary in like a day. At that point, I was like, because I've always like my guys know me, I think a lot. Like I overthink things a lot. So it didn't just make any sense to me to go for an employment that pays me 30K a month if I could offer graphic design services and make like a third of that every day. So that was my calculation in my mind. So in my mind, subconsciously, I had already told myself that I was going to go into this online thing. Okay, but after school, it got serious, and I was like, I was desperate. I needed to like, find something serious to do. That's when King told me about his friend. Then I hadn't met Mr. Precious. King actually told me about Mr. Precious, and he told me about some crazy numbers that this guy was doing. I was like, "Are you sure? Like, do you know what you're saying? Do you mean this thing?" He will say he made this. These are the numbers that he's making. What is he doing? Is he doing fraud? He said no. He's doing advertising. I was like, okay. So it was literally um, amazing when I was now able to finally connect with Mr. Precious, and he was so warm about it. Probably because I was like a friend of King already, so he was willing to like show me what was going on. And I tried learning advertising. I tried learning his processes, and initially, I think I was trying to like teach other graphic designers how to make graphic design too, and it didn't really kick off. Although I made my first like 18 or 20,000 naira because of Mr. Precious. When I made that money, I felt like this is how life is going to be from now on. I'm going to be making 20,000 every single day. So when I made that money, I went home. I took my mom and my sister out and I bought them like roll-ons, perfumes, and I was like, life has changed, though. Don't worry, I'll take care of everything. But then, like every business, there are challenges. So eventually, when I was left on my own to continue, I realized that, there are some things I wasn't really still good at. So I had to now take a pause, you know, because life was happening. I was supposed to go for NYSC and all that. So I took a pause on all that. I was like, let me go to camp first. Even the money I used to go to camp, it was from a job that Precious hooked me up with. They actually gave me the cash that I was able to use to sustain myself in NYC camp a little bit, right? So when I went to camp, right, that's when my mindset was kind of shifting because I was seeing all these young boys doing amazing things, and which is why I'm sticking very close to King because as much as I was seeing like Yahoo boys in camp, the richest person I knew then was into crypto. Like legitimately, he used to buy crypto and invest in crypto. That was like the most the and he was someone I made my friend. So, but there was a lot of pressure in camp. I was thinking about what to do next. But it was life after camp that made me to decide that this online thing, I'm going to face it squarely. Because after camp, I tell people this story. I always tell my students this story. And sometimes they think I'm lying. I tell my students that I was so broke when I was serving because I served in Akure, that's Ondo State. I was so broke when I was serving that I used to eat once a day. And I think I've told King this thing before. I used to eat once a day. It wasn't like a full meal, it was just once. And the purpose of eating that once was I used to eat like late at night. So I would go throughout the whole day without eating. Then at like 10 p.m. or 9 p.m., I would eat for the first time that day. Now, what that food does is it quenches the hunger I've had throughout the day and also puts food enough in my stomach to make sure that it carries me to the next morning and then to the next evening again. So it was horrible. It was really bad for me. But the good thing was, and it didn't seem like a good thing at the time, but the good thing that happened to me then was I was now hearing about other people that started like learning how to run ads, started online business that were doing really, really, really good. They were doing really well. And I was like, I started this thing before these guys, oh, and I'm not anywhere to be found. And these guys are living life. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to face this thing squarely, right? And that's what I did. I had to try stuff. And I think this is like, if I'm going to give anybody that wants to start online business any advice, this is the best advice I can give you. It's like, you can't quit, right? After the first draft. Because sometimes you try one thing, it doesn't work. You try it again, it doesn't work. You try something else. And it might be like the 10th iteration of your trying before something like that is going to work. Okay, so at that point, I was like, okay, I needed to dive back into this thing. So I made calls. That period, I disturbed Mr. Precious, I disturbed King. They know now. I wasn't letting them rest because they were doing well. They were making. I was like, what's this? Is it my village people need? Why can't I make money like these people? Do they have two heads? My head is bigger than their own self. Like if you see me in person, I have my head is bigger than their head. So why are they doing well and why am I not doing well? So I made a lot of calls to them, and you know we worked through it together, and then my business started taking off. I focused, I niched down on digital advertising like professionally. So I started running digital adverts for businesses, and then I started helping people to do the same. And that's when things really started to fly for me. And at least I could eat, right? I could eat at least 3 square meals now instead of eating once a day. Then I started adding flesh back. So I think the caveat of having a digital skill, because when I finished camp, what I learned was the people that were making that were even getting employed, right? Like if let's say you want to do a normal 9 to 5, the people that were getting employed easily are actually the people that have some sort of digital skill attached to their CV, right? to be able to do something, to be able to be digitally equipped. Those are the kind of people that even get employed the most, just above those, even if with your 2-1 or your first class or whatever. So it dawned on me that I was lucky to have someone like King and Mr. Precious in my life at that time, to give me that guidance, to make me learn this stuff. And the cool thing about the online space is, as far as you've opened yourself up to learning one thing, you can also open yourself up to learning other stuff, because you now know how to learn. You know how to learn, and you know how to implement. You know how at least a bit of the online thing works. So you can take that knowledge that you have and like put it in different spheres or different other niches. So well, I guess that's all there is about me. I wasn't sure exactly if I'd like hit all the talking points, but I just wanted to tell you guys my story. So I don't know if you have any questions that I haven't like talked about, you can tell me so I can quickly go over that for you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kelvin. I really appreciate your insights you shared. Actually, I do. It's actually funny when you say I'm very hardworking, because I consider myself a very lazy person.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Kelvin, so I want the same question I asked Mr. Precious. What has been your major challenge in this space? What has been your major challenge
Mm,
ever since you started?
well, it's like there are different challenges at different levels. Before you figure out, what's going to pay you the most, right? Or what's going to pay you before then, while you're trying to figure it out. I think the biggest challenge I faced then was doubt. My goodness. Sometimes I'll sit down at night and I'll be like, what am I doing? What's wrong with me? Like, what is this? Doubting the process, that are you sure this thing is for me? Are you sure it can work for me? And the truth is, doubt is not, it's not um most of the time when you doubt, it's not like you don't know what you're doing. You just need to know what you're doing a bit more. So doubt is usually a knowledge problem. And then when you do figure out what it is that pays you the most, I think what now keeps you in one place, like Mr. Precious said, was um, laziness, right? I mean, I was earning like 30K in during camp, right, in NYSC. And there are days that, okay, I was earning 30K and I was being paid 10K by my PPA, right, the place I was working. And some days before going to work, I'll make 40,000. That's my monthly alawi and my salary in one morning. Like the day hasn't finished that morning before going to work. So at that point, I was just like satisfied with where I was. Like if I was making like even if it's 5K or 10K a day, I know that I'm making more than my alawi now, so I'm good. So not wanting more, like not trying to find new ways to innovate because of laziness and complacency. I think that's like when you figure it out or when you actually start making small money, that's where you need to really fight against. So yeah, first one is doubt, then laziness or complacency. So that's been like my biggest challenge, believing that you can do it.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kelvin. It's been very insightful. Your story has been very insightful. The thing is, I know that for many persons here, we have been in this place, like where we doubt ourselves, where fear comes in. Yes, fear.
Yeah.
Because I've learned over time that the reason why majority of us do not achieve what we want in life is because of personal inhibiting traits like procrastination,
Yeah.
laziness, fear. Yeah, these personal inhibiting traits actually stop us more than we actually know. So, as Mr. Kelvin has said, you know, doubt, self-doubt. That self-doubt is another thing. You actually stop maybe because you have a little bit of hurdle or obstacle on your way, and then you feel like no, you are not good enough and all that. So it's something that we must actually overcome. So part of the reason is because the thing is, most times when we get to see people that are doing very well in the online space, we just tend to feel that they are better than us. Probably there's something that is wrong with us, or there's this. It's just usually a knowledge problem, like Mr. Kevin has clearly stated out. It's usually a knowledge problem. If you can bridge that gap between what you know and what that person knows, that is causing the person to make much more than you, it means that you are willing to do. So most times, if you want to double or triple your income, you understand. Before I decided to dive into the digital marketing space, or before I decided to dive into the online space, I was doing okay. You understand? I was doing okay. You know, for some persons that know me well, I am into crypto. So, but I wanted to have another means of income and push myself further and further and further. You get. So, what did I do? I saw somebody doing well something else, and what did I do? I decided to bridge that gap. Do you understand? I decided to bridge that gap. So part of the reason for this our community is bridging the gap. You who need more and somebody who has more, and then the person has more knowledge than you have. So therefore, in order to bridge that gap, connecting, that's the purpose of this initiative that we're actually bringing. You can see Mr. Kevin has stated that one thing I like doing is once I see somebody who needs something, I don't claim to be the all and all. He came to me and I was like, okay, I know somebody who does this very well that would actually help you in this regard. And that was how we went. And that's what I want to do for most people that are here. So many of you would have this need, this urge to actually want to do more for yourself, because part of our communities are going to be, see those personal inhibiting traits, fear, laziness, doubt, procrastination, and all that. We are going to come up with actionable steps to be able to overcome some of them. We get actionable steps to be able to overcome many of these personal inhibiting traits, and it's going to be a very beautiful journey. I just hope that the majority of you are here and others would actually still come and partake in this lesson. So Mr. Kelvin is a personal friend. He's a personal friend. We go way back. You know, we go way back. And so if there is anybody that has questions, and this one is a very bright mind, like one of the brightest minds I know. He's never satisfied though. Me, I get complacent to a certain extent. But Mr. Kelvin, I know he's never satisfied. He's always will just call me. He's like, I was thinking of this. There is this. Okay, tell me, talk to me. You know, just to get. So is wanting more has always driven him to be better. Understand? He's wanting more has always driven him to be better. It's not when you say want more, it doesn't mean that at the point you don't get, you're not contented, you're not appreciative of what you've been able to achieve. No, you get. But just that in order to get past the point you are, growth most times enables us to strive for more. Wants us, for us to be able to grow, we need to strive for more. And that's one of the traits I admire most about Mr. Kelvin. So the reason for bringing some of these persons here is because I know some of them, and I know these are the things that are driving them. And these are the points that a lot of us actually need. That's just the difference. Because a lot of us actually need this. So imagine connecting yourself. So if people see me doing well or okay, I'm not saying I'm doing the best I can right now, but I'm still trying. It's because of these people that I have at my back, this community. You can see that people are here now, their community. They're like my community of persons here. So this community, the small community I have, which I'm trying to now expand on a larger scale using this Easy Life community and the ExpandEazy platform for everyone to feel connected to growth, because connection to growth is one of the best things you do for yourself, connection to growth. So if you have any questions you want to ask Mr. Kelvin, it's time you can just ask him. Ask Mr. Kelvin. So just indicate by raising your hand so you can ask him a question. If there's anybody who has a question for Mr. Kelvin, anybody with a question for Mr. Kelvin? Okay. Nobody with a question for Mr. Kelvin. All right. Okay. So I want to bring on the third person. Mr. Kelvin, thank you very much. I really appreciate this. I really appreciate you coming on. It's been a pleasure having you. So I want to bring on the third person, the third speaker we have. This person is very, she's one of a kind. She's actually one of the facilitators of this, making this whole thing possible. Without her, it's very difficult, because I can get disorganized at times. She's one that helps me to put things in place, you understand? So most times when I was just, miracle, why is everything, she just ensures that things are put in place. She just ensures that information is getting across to the right persons. So She's one of a kind. And the beautiful part, she's a UI UX designer. She's part of the ExpandEazy team. She's a UI UX designer, and she's very great at it. She's very great at it. And one thing I love most about her is the fact that she's always open to learn. She's always open to learn. So the greatest thing you can do for yourself is having this urge to always learn. And that is one thing I like about this last, I love about this last person that I'll be bringing on. She's always open to learn. So once there's an opportunity for her to learn something, she's putting herself out there. And that's it. So I want her to still share experiences and knowledge with each and every one of you here. So that's that feeling that somebody's better than me, nobody's better than me. It's just that people pursue knowledge. Yes, so if you can actually pursue knowledge more, you will see that you get to the destination that you're looking for. Like I said, the path of least resistance is a path that has been previously traveled by someone, and having that person by your side makes it easier for you. Do you understand? So I will be bringing Miracle to the platform. Miracle, please, you can unmute your mic now, and then please come and share with us some of your insightful knowledge so that we can learn from you also. Miracle, please.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I don't know if everyone can hear me because I'm having a bit of network troubles, but I'm going to try my best to make my voice audible and make my network, by God's grace, so that all of us can all hear me. But can we all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
Okay. So my name is Miracle Bilabi, and I'm actually honored to be here as one of the speakers, because normally I would say I know rich, but here we are. So I'm just going to give my own experience of what I've seen so far in my 1 year of experience as a UI UX designer. So what I want to speak here today, like I said I want to just share my personal story, because I don't know who's here and who this story might inspire. First of all, my journey in UI UX design, I actually didn't plan it. I actually, like, if by this time last year, if someone would have asked me, oh, would you actually go into tech? I'll tell the person I don't see myself going into tech, because I just did not see myself. So there was a random day actually where my husband just asked me and was like, wouldn't you like to take an online course? And if you would like to, what course do you have in mind? And I just said graphic design. So like I just said it because I like seeing designs. I just like seeing something that even because how will I put it now? Okay, even when I'm online and I just see a nice flyer or a nice logo, I just of the color combination and all that. So that was just my graphic design. I think I will actually it be something I would do. So fast forward to February 14th last year, which Valentine's Day. I was just whining my husband like, where's my Valentine's? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello? Oh,
yeah,
okay. I thought you said something. So I was just whining my husband, where's my Valentine's Day gift and all that? And he was like, don't worry, it's coming. So me, I was expecting a surprise. I was expecting parara and all that. And I was at work because I used to be a teacher at a private school. So I got a message from someone, a lady, and she was like, hello, ma, good afternoon, ma. Your husband enrolled you for a UI UX course, for a 3 months UI UX course and all that. And I was so surprised. I had to call my husband, like, did you enroll me in a course? Because the first thing that came to my mind was, I think maybe it was a scam or something, because I know I didn't enroll for something. My mind didn't even go that my husband wants to do something like that. So he said yes, that I said I like designs and all that. And after speaking to the school or the platform where they have courses on this, they were like, okay, I would actually do it in UI UX design. So I said, okay, let's just give it a shot. And I already had a system. I had the necessary things to go along with the class. So I said, okay, let's just see how it's going to be. And mind you, it was not an easy journey. Why? Because I had my baby was about I think 5 months old then. So imagine taking online class. I have to go to work as a teacher. I close normally by 4 p.m. every day, and my classes were 3 times a week, and it was 6 p.m. So I literally have 2 hours to like get ready for class. And my house was like 45 minutes away from my from the school I was teaching. So actually it wasn't really easy. So most times immediately they close, I'm already rushing home so that I can attend to my baby quickly and get ready and get settled for class. And the instructor I had then was, I'll call him my mentor actually. He was very patient with me. You know, there are some people that don't really have this patience when they are teaching you. Sometimes while the class is going on, my baby will start crying and I have to like actually carry him, and he'll be like, oh, take your time, attend to your baby and just let me know, let me give you 10 minutes or 5 minutes and just attend to your baby, and when you are done, let me know, then we'll continue with the class. So that's how it was going. Most times I had sleepless nights because after each class I get to do assignments and next day I'm going to work. So I just really talking about it now, I really don't know how I was able to put myself together to do all this, like attending classes, taking care of my baby, going to work. And mind you, I was a teacher then, and I was earning 40,000 a month. Like imagine earning 40,000, and my my transport fare to and fro work every month was about 24,000, and I was still paying for crèche services. So imagine all these things. Like at the end,
Network is
what are you actually taking home? Nothing. Like I would say it's little or nothing. So I just realized that, oh, okay, hello.
I can hear you now. The network was at a point it was shaky. Hello, hello.
Okay, but it's better now, right? Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Okay, we can hear you now. Just continue, please.
Okay, so like I was saying, I just realized that okay, going into tech could actually increase my income.
Oh, okay. The network is very shaky at this point in time. We cannot hear you anymore. We cannot hear you at all. So it's just hanging. Okay. So while she finds her network, I think one of the most inspiring thing about her journey so far is the fact that how she had to combine a 9 to 5 job, or I don't know how to, or it's
But maybe
school
you don't
again,
earn
right?
in.
Uh, the network is just misbehaving. So Miracle, have you been
Okay,
able to
hello.
explain?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
can
can
hear
hear you.
you. Yes, I am. Can you hear me now? Okay. So as I was saying, it wasn't really an easy journey, but one of my greatest achievements, and I hope to achieve more, was when I was contacted for a job to like design a fintech app, like these apps where you can buy and sell crypto, bitcoins, and all that. And when I got contacted for the job, I was actually thinking, oh, am I actually good enough for this? Have I actually reached this stage? And I just spoke to my mentor about it. It was like, actually, give it a try, do your research, and just go for it. And I did it. And when I was credited at first, when I saw the amount, I was like, because I don't think, though I know I've been seeing little tokens and all that, but when I saw the amount, like, I was really surprised, like, oh wow. So now maybe this, I'm actually really going into this tech thing. I had lots of sleepless nights, but actually thinking about the fact that I get to earn more and I get to actually show the world what I do. I just had to take that opportunity. So I really don't know who's resonating with this my message or my experience. But all I want to say is that don't like for motivation or source of inspiration. Don't feel like you are not good enough at anything you want to do. And right now, we all know that the world is going digital, the world is going global, everything is now digitalized. So getting digital skills is like actually a must. And you don't even need to limit yourself to just one particular skill. You can actually multitask. You can do if I could do it, I'm just going to say this. If I could do it, because I had a baby at hand and I was still able to navigate through this whole thing. And I feel like you can actually do it, because being into the digital space is just amazing. And in the digital world, there are different skills you could learn. Like the first two speakers, they are digital marketers and they are making tons of money from it. There's UI UX, there's product design, there's even graphic design, there's website development and all that. Like different skills that you could actually learn and maybe get freelance jobs. You don't even actually need to work for someone. You can just be on your own and post what you actually do and get jobs. So that's just basically it. I know the first two speakers, they've spoken so well, and I picked a thing or two from what they said, and I'm still going to try and apply it to my own self, in my own skill and in my own little way. So I think that's all I have to say. Thank you for listening to me, and if there's any question about anything, feel free to ask.
Okay, thank you very much, Miracle. Your story has been most inspiring. Like I was saying, one of the reasons why I love her story a lot is because having to couple with an 8 to 4 5 job, with having a small child, having to learn skills and everything. Again, she's still able to do it. She's still able to come out, being able to put things into implementation and all that. It's inspiring, and even being a part of this journey with me, it's actually very, very inspiring. Not everyone would actually put themselves out there like that. Yes, especially when most times I understand that various people have different things, but different motivation would actually your source of motivation will actually determine how you will go. You understand? Your source of motivation will determine how you will go. So you can see a mother of two, young mother of two who has a 9 to 5 job, was able to still learn UI UX design. That's UI design is doing graphic design, incorporating it into multiple. So basically, it's actually quite amazing, and still even being a part of this team that's putting this together. It's an amazing journey. So you can see people have various levels of motivation and consistency. So if there's anything I've actually learned from everybody, and I anticipate that we've learned, is that consistency is key. It's very important, consistency. And from the last two persons, you can see that they had to deal with self-doubt. Can I do it? Are you sure I can do it? Many persons here, I don't know how many persons are in this video voice chat, but many persons here are dealing with that self-doubt. So, like I said, what limits us most times are personal inhibiting traits: doubt, fear, procrastination, laziness, everything. I happen to have had all of that. See, my own journey has not also been very, very easy, because I did a lot of things, from being a student to getting out of school. I even had to retain the house I was in one small room I was in then. So when I'm also a graphic designer. For most people who don't know, I'm a graphic designer. I do web design. I have a lot of skills. I have a lot of skills. When I learned digital marketing first, the first thing I did was I actually started selling my skill as a graphic designer. And I remember the first time I got a client from Ghana. Okay. So naturally, I learned something 4 years ago. Let's say I learned how to do graphic design 4 years. I learned it around 2015, 2014, 2015. I made first money from graphic design, first good money from graphic design around 2020, when I learned digital marketing. And I was making consistent money. I was making around, from just graphic design, incorporating digital marketing skills to graphic design, I was making around 400 to 500,000 a month. And I got clients from different parts of Africa. The reason why I couldn't scale outside Africa was because of the limitations on means of receiving payments. That was the reason why. So I got clients from different parts of Africa. So what am I saying? Why are we saying all this? It means that for many of you now, you have various skills you can learn. So what digital skills? When we say digital skills, digital skills doesn't necessarily have to be something new. It can be complementary. Do you understand? It's not necessarily something new. It can be complementary. I've always been a graphic designer, which is a digital skill itself. But then I learned how to I learned digital marketing, and then I incorporated digital marketing with my graphic design. I was making a ton of money. You understand? Not being that was 2020 during that coronavirus lockdown. I was making around 400 to 500K. You understand? Out there on a monthly basis while I was sitting at home. Yeah, I told you I had a shop. Yeah, I had like a cyber caf shop, but that was just one of the simplest money. And the flair of going back to the shop was very difficult. I just employed somebody and had to pay them until I closed the shop at the end of the day. So what am I saying in essence is that these skills can be complementary. Now, some of you have businesses. You have businesses. I know a lot of people here they sell online and all that. Find digital skills that can complement that business that you have. You understand? So, naturally, when we talk about this research, one of the most important skills I usually tell people to learn is learn how to market. If you know how digital marketing, it's easier for you to sell any skill that you want to get. As a web developer, as a web designer, as everything. That's why you get a lot of people, part of their CV, you see digital marketing. You get, and also learning digital skills actually puts you above this if you are looking for a job. For those who be job hunters, so for business owners, small SMEs, small business owners, you need a digital marketing skill that can complement your small business. For job hunters, you need digital marketing skills that can improve your CV because you become a person of more value once you have skills that you can bring to the company. And because the world is a digital world right now, the defense is a digital world, digital skills are what you can actually apply to various companies. And then for people that are just graduating, people that don't have anything doing, you can learn digital skills and build a business around them. So there's a lot of reasons why you can actually be in the digital space. So I want to thank you, Miracle. I don't know if there's anybody that has a question for Miracle at this moment, so you can ask Miracle. Maybe it's just a mother, somebody here who is a mother, and just how did you do it? Like, how were you able to cope with it all? Tell me, what was your biggest challenge? Okay, so let me just ask this question for the sake of those that may not ask. Miracle, what was your biggest challenge? What was your biggest challenge in your journey into the digital space?
Okay, my biggest challenge, like I said before, was the fact that I was working an 8 to 4 job and also trying to meet up for class. I just felt like the point was almost breaking down because there was this, okay, let me just actually chip in this. There was this particular day, my baby was actually very sick. So I was supposed to have class that day, and me too, I wasn't just feeling it. I had a very stressful day at work and coming home, trying to feed my baby so that I could have chance to attend the class. Everything was just upside down. I just burst into tears. I was like, can I actually just started doubting myself? Like, I think I'm just trying to bite more than I can chew. I've actually not gotten to this stage yet. I'm just doing too much. I started feeling so down, and I during the class, the guy noticed, like the lecturer noticed that something was happening, something was wrong, and he asked me, "Are you okay?" I said, "Actually, I'm not okay. I'm just trying to be in this class." And he just said, "Okay, just take some time off." And I just sat down. I said I was going through some inspirational, like some motivational text, and there was a particular one I saw. I really can't remember how it went, but so something about don't when you feel down, don't doubt yourself. Something around that nature. And that particular text spoke to me, and I was like, okay, I just picked up myself. I was like, okay, I can actually do this, and I can actually do this, and I just found myself doing it. Sometimes I also feel down. I'll be like, no, I'm almost done with this course. I'm almost done. I will see the end of this course. I'll get my certificate, and I will actually work as a UI UX designer. So that's basically it.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Like it's been very inspiring talking to you, hearing from you. Like thank you. So you can see many of us are in this position. Many of us are worse off. Many of us are better off. But at the end of the day, it's just a motivation. You need to find your motivation. See, I know it's easy to say maybe somebody has it easy, but there are a lot of people who do not have it easy, but they still find their motivation. So you just have to find a source of motivation to be able to do and accomplish whatever you want to. So I don't know. I think we've had most of the speakers we've had. We're going to be having meetings like this because part of what we'll be doing is we'll also have meetings where we're going to be dealing with these personal inhibiting traits. I will just say this a lot because if you talk to some persons, you see that they have ideas, they have knowledge and everything. But the problem is because they have some of these personal inhibiting traits That's why they've not been able to accomplish anything. So we'll be dealing with that. Okay, so Mr. Nelson wants to speak. Let me allow to speak. So Mr. Nelson, please unmute your mic and you can speak.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, I want to ask Miracle a question.
Okay.
I am from Cameroon and I really have a huge interest in learning data analysis. So I just want to ask Miracle, do you care to mention the name of the platform she learned the UX design from? Maybe they offer data analysis. I'm interested to know.
Mr. Nelson, yeah, let me first of all answer your question. Part of being here is because we want to have a controlled environment. Well, actually, data analysis is part of the skills that we'll be bringing to you. So we're not just going to give you a platform that costs and everything. We're going to be bringing instructors directly to you because that's part of the goal of this Easy Light community. Do you understand? So we are talking at this moment, we are at a partnership stage. You understand? What do we mean at a partnership stage? These necessary digital skills that is needed. We are partnering with tutors who we know that they are invested. You know, there's something Mr. Precious said. There are tutors who will teach you because they just want to make money, right? There are tutors who are interested in impacting. So we are ensuring that we are vetting everybody we want to partner with. So to ensure that people that are coming, since you want to learn data analysis, don't worry, the opportunity will be there, will be brought to you. They are partnering with necessary people who are going to be able to teach you everything you need to know in line with these skills that you are looking for. That's one of our goals in the Easy Life community. You understand? Apart from every other benefit of being a part of the community, we are going to be bringing resource persons that will be training you. So just be there. You see skills, take advantage of the various skill sets when they come like that. Yes. So that's just it. And but there's also one thing you must understand is that, like I said yesterday when we did the introduction, we are not a charity organization, and most of these tutors that we're going to bring in, some of them would require payment for their services and this thing. So we're just going to see how we can actually bring down the payment down for most people in our community because we're going to be partnering with them. So that's the only thing we will do for you. We're not a charity organization that, you know, so if anybody that is coming and you are interested in any skill, you must be willing to say, okay, make the necessary sacrifices in time and money to be able to finance yourself to get these skills. Because most of us who learned skills, we didn't really learn it on the platter of food. We learned it at the back, at our back on the ground because we had to put money in, we had to put this. From the very first course I took, I paid so much money. Recently, I paid about $67 to learn a particular aspect of the course. That is going to take 6 months. The funny thing is that it's going to take 6 months. So every point in time, I'm improving myself, and I'm not shy to pay money to learn more. You understand? I'm not shy to pay money to learn more. So if we learn how to do that, and not just paying money, because some persons pay money and then they just don't learn. You must pay money and you must pay time. These are two things. The two currency we have right now, money and time. But the very first currency that was given to us is time. Again, then the second is money. So those are the two things you must really pay as necessary sacrifices to learn any of this. So you don't have to worry yourself. We will bring these skills to your fingertips. I want to ensure that we have a controlled environment where these persons will not just teach you. They will not just come and they will teach you, and you must get positive outcome from the experience with them. Do you understand? So that's just it. And also, one of the things we want to do is, as we proceed, is we want to partner with companies so that when they are looking for employees, they will bring it to us and we'll be able to advertise. So people who are members of our community, they will get those opportunities first. But it's still a work in progress anyway. It's still a work in progress. Okay, Fumi, I don't know if I've answered the question, Mr. Nelson. Fumi Adia, you want to speak?
Yes, you did. I really do appreciate your answer. That's clear so many things for me.
All right. Okay, so Fumi Adia, please unmute your mic, Fumi. Fumi. Okay. Fumi Adeoye, you were raising your hand, so was it a mistake? Okay. Okay, so in the essence of that, I believe that we've said enough. I don't know if we all got value from this, but if you got value from being a part of this meeting today, I know that you were motivated. Please, you should not just end as being motivated. You should take all the necessary action that is required to get. I would want you to also leave a feedback on the group that okay, I was in a meeting and this is what I did and everything like that. So it will prompt other persons to decide to join us when we have meetings. Because we're going to be having meetings and webinars like this. So I think this will be where we'll be calling it a night. I really want to appreciate every participant here. It means a lot to me that you made time out of your busy schedule to be a part of this meeting. The recording will be made available for those who are not able to meet early, so you can go over it, and probably for those who are still in the meeting and they want to go over it again, they will still be able to go over
Hello?
the meeting. Okay. All right.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Um, sorry, I have a question. What are the digital skills that are like available that you want to teach us?
Okay. Basically, we're looking at skills like digital marketing, UI UX design, graphical
Sorry,
content
what did you
creation.
say?
We're looking at digital marketing that
Okay.
includes Meta Ads, Google Ads, SEO, that's search engine optimization, then graphical content creation. We're looking at video content creation, how to edit videos for content purposes, you understand, how to create and edit videos for content purposes. We're looking at UI UX design, web design and development, data analysis, and all that. So we're still in the process of acquiring some of these coaches because it's a we're having to eliminate a lot of persons so that we only get the best. Do you understand? We're only going to get the best. So as they are coming like this, there'll be introductory, there'll be webinars and everything. So you get to know what you're going into. So those are the skills that we're looking at. But as we proceed, then e-commerce is also another aspect. E-commerce, because the reality is most people are into e-commerce, selling online, but they just don't know how to do it well. So e-commerce is also another skill. So, but we're still at the partnering stage where we have our digital creators. We're partnering with them, and as they come, we'll be giving them the platform to actually talk to you guys. So anyone you have interest in, you decide to be a part of it, and then we're ensuring that you get the best experience out of it because it's going to be controlled. We're going to do what we call quality control, ensuring that you get the best from every coaching experience and every mentorship you sign up for under the ExpandEazy platform.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, but Ms. Fumi, before you go, is there any, Mrs. Fumi, is there any particular skill you're interested in learning at this point in time?
Not exactly. I want to like decide first. I don't know anyone yet. I'm just gonna like sit down and like pick one.
Okay. But did you enjoy the session we had just now, like the whole session?
Yes, of course I did.
All right. Thank you very much for feedback. So please
Thank you.
just leave your feedback on, especially the WhatsApp community, so people would missed out would want to be prompted to go through over the videos and everything. So we'll also share these videos, but just leave your comments. So thank you very much for being a part of this experience. I wish to see you all again in the next webinar meeting that we'll be having. So do have a wonderful night, rest. Good night.